Welcome back. You're still watching Business Morning live on Channels Television. Let's take a look at how your money is performing at the AFEX Commodities Exchange. Now, let's for the week ended August 8th. Join us now is Akongbe Omotola, market data and research analyst at AFEX. With the details. Great to have you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good morning. Great to have you. So, give us a rundown on performance on the exchange for the week ended.
There were a series of events in the commodities market. In the trading week, we saw a decline in the turnover. There was a decline of 54.83% in the turnover from the total value of 2.9 billion to 1.3 billion. There was also a 71.30% decline in the total volume traded on the exchange. There was a decline from about 11 million contracts to 3 million contracts. But however, we saw an increase in the number of deals traded on the exchange. The number of deals increased by 27.02% from a total of 211 deals to a total of 268 deals. For our benchmark indexes, for our AFEX Commodity Index, the AFEX Commodities Index saw a 3.49 decline from 467.49 points to 451.7 points. Our AFEX Export Index, however, saw an increase of 9.49% from 188.9 points to 206.9. Across our volumes traded, there was a general decline across volume traded of most commodities. However, soybean and paddy rice accounted for about 60% of the total volume traded on the exchange. The price of maize increased by 2.20% to close at 251.82 naira per kg. Also, the price of paddy rice declined by the price of maize declined by 16.6% to close at 207.81 naira per kg. The price of paddy rice declined by 1.14% to close at 252.81 naira per kilogram. However, the prices remained unchanged across all the other commodities. To get more information about the commodities market, kindly follow our page. Kindly follow us on our website at africanexchange.com, and to join our trading platform, kindly download ComX on the Play Store or iOS Store.
All right, we'll keep watching those commodity prices. Thank you so much, Akongbe Omotola, market data research analyst at AFEX. It was great having you. All right, now we'll take the conversation further now. Ensuring balanced supply and demand of cocoa is pertinent for the market. Well, how the required elements put in place for sustainable cocoa production. We'll be having that conversation now with Yusuf Ogumbi, Head Origination and Structuring at AFEX. Great to have you on the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Ladi. It's nice to be here again.
Yeah. So, give us a bit of insight into the demand and, supply equalization of cocoa in the domestic and international markets.
Interesting question there. Demand and supply has always been two major factors that we always look at in the commodities market. They are fundamental to every other decision that is made in the market. So for cocoa especially, which is an export crop, a cash crop for a country like Nigeria, as well as other countries like Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, cocoa is a very major commodity that we focus on. And for countries like I mentioned, across the West Africa belt, we are what we call source origination countries. So there are places where people buy from. And then you also have countries in Europe, North America, Asia as major destination regions. So you have people buying from West Africa and South America and taking this cocoa to Europe, Asia, and North America to process into various products. The question here is that how much of demand is being met and how much supply is provided to the market as well. At various points in times, you have demand exceeding supply and some other times supply exceeding demand. But the focus is how do you then develop the domestic market in the country to meet up with the demand that has grown over the years. One interesting thing for us in Nigeria is that international demand for cocoa has increased due to a number of factors. Also because Nigeria is a very liberal market, you don't have regulations surrounding prices and some of these things. So people can come into the country, get the quality they need and the volume they need. Our own focus is how do we then meet up with the demand? And the question is, how do you then build the farmer networks? How do you then improve on the plantations that you have? How do you then plant new trees? How do you replace the old trees that are growing old? And these are the things that you would typically look at in balancing the demand and supply side of the market as well.
Quite interesting, but what are the critical elements, needed to put in place for sustainable cocoa production to ensure that, supply actually meets demand?
The interesting thing in cocoa especially is that cocoa is fast becoming what we call an ingredient rather than an everyday commodity. So let me just differentiate a little bit here. An ingredient is still a commodity, it is still a crop, but then you then have focus being placed on quality, you have focus being placed on origin, you have focus being placed on different kind of quality parameters. And this means that you can't just replace one type of quality parameter, one bag of cocoa with just any random bag of cocoa. It has to be the same exact quality parameters to replace them. But for commodities, they are absolutely fungible. You can replace them as you desire. In the case of cocoa, what you then need as critical factors, critical elements, you're looking at the plantation, the size of the plantations you have, and the quality of the plantations you have. By extension, you're also looking at, because it's farmers that would keep these plantations, you are looking at the type of farmers and the quality of farmers you have. So you are then looking at the training programs you are providing for the farmers, the inputs they have access to, what kind of plantation are they using, what kind of practices are they applying on their plantations. So these are critical elements that you typically want to look at. So you are looking at the size of the plantation, which you would expect to increase as demand increases. You are looking at the quality of the plantation, which you would expect to meet up with the demand. So you have younger trees replacing older trees as they grow old. And then you're looking at the quality and the number of farmers you have, which you would expect to be educated, at least farmers that have good understanding of the practices that would drive higher yield and productivity for the country.
Quite interesting, but what is AFEX, doing to make sure that this market, is actually balanced?
Yeah, we are an indigenous country. We are an indigenous company, right? We are born out of Nigeria, right? And we understand the very peculiar concerns that we have in the country. And for us, we are looking at it right from the point of the seedlings, because we believe that the seedlings are the most important inputs into the entire cocoa value chain. So for us, we are focusing on getting very solid seedlings, sustainable seedlings that can be provided to these farmers, who then plant them to replace older trees. One concern we have in the country is that the plantation size, the age of our plantation is getting older and older year after year. So the concern we are then focusing now on is how do we then replace those older trees with younger, more vibrant, more improved seedlings, so that this can help us improve the quality of our plantations. On the other hand, we also believe that the farmers require solid understanding of the practices required to keep the plantations. So our focus now is gather these farmers into cooperatives, solid cooperatives, give them the inputs they need, but even more importantly, give them the education and training they require so that Nigeria continues to rank amongst the top producers of cocoa, and not just top producers of cocoa, top producers of quality cocoa, which is where we then get to have the premiums on pricing, better incomes, and that would then trickle down to the farmer at the end of the day. It gives everybody the benefit. It's a win-win for everybody in the value chain.
And hopefully you can also produce some nice chocolates to also boost that.
Of course.
All right, so where can we get more information, on AFEX involvement in cocoa production?
So over the past 2 years, AFEX has delved very strongly into the sustainable cocoa. So if you look at conversations around cocoa, like I said earlier, it's fast becoming an ingredient. So the focus now is how do we get to that point where our cocoa is priced, there's premium on our cocoa because it's perceived to be of a higher quality, sustainability-wise. So for us, we've gone into a number of programs, which I think we can also get on africaexchange.com. About a few months ago, we were in Ife launching the 1 million cocoa seedlings in Ife for farmers in Southwest and South Nigeria. And that program as well you can see that on Africa Exchange. You can also follow us on all our social media handles where we always put out this information because we believe everybody needs this information to benefit from. We have people that are looking at getting into this ecosystem and they would typically benefit from this kind of information. So follow us on all our social media handles, AFEX Nigeria on all social media handles. You can also check africaexchange.com, get enough information, as much information as you would like. You can also reach out to us, contact us at afexnigeria.com. Get across to us. We would always provide you the answers to your questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Yusuf Ogunbi, Head Origination and Structuring at AFEX. It was great having you.
Thank you very much, Ladi.
All right, now, so we'll take a moment now